All right, Kristen, thank you. 6:03. We're going to continue our team coverage of this winter weather. Conditions are rough on the east side of the mountains along I-40.
Yeah, the eastern part of the state is one of the areas getting hit the hardest by this winter storm. We're talking about snow-packed and icy spots for drivers to deal with. Let's get right to News 13's David Romero. He is live near Cedillo Hill this morning. He had to take on some really tough roads. How was the drive out there, David?
Very treacherous, Crystal, and that's because it got down to one lane at one point. That was about from the Zuzax exit all the way over here to Cedillo Hill. Take a look down here at my feet. Our photographer John Rosa sent me into some treacherous water here, or treacherous snow, just to give you a good idea from where we were a while ago. I mean, this is about, I would estimate about 5, almost 6 inches deep, and this is what has accumulated here along Cedillo Hill, and you can just imagine it's just as bad on the roadways. Now, what we saw on our road, on our trip out here, was that, like I said, around Zuzax, it got down to one lane at one point. There was one car that was in front of Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputy that was started to spin and fishtail in front of us. That's a good reason for you to use a lot of caution and go slow. There's not too much traffic right now, but just a few moments ago we saw where there was a steady stream and line of cars that were going about 30 miles an hour. That's pretty smart, but you don't want to be stacked up one against each other, because if you have to brake hard, you don't want to brake and slide into the person in front of you and then cause that chain reaction accident, which is what DOT and a lot of the crews want to avoid today. Another problem you're going to have to deal with is blowing snow across the roadway. And that's because all the snow that has accumulated on the side of the roads with those winds that we've been having to deal with this storm is going to be blowing across you. And that's going to be where you're going to run into some problems, because you will not be able to see the people in front of you. And again, ice on the road, you're going to have to brake hard and brake heavy, and that's where the accidents come from. So if you're going to be coming out to this area of New Mexico, and this is I-40 east of Albuquerque, use a lot of caution. We talked to one gentleman who was on his way to Amarillo, Texas. He decided to camp out here for a while, and then I guess he just left just a few moments ago, and he's going to try and make a go of it. But of course, from here to the Texas state line is where it's really bad. Use your four-wheel drive if you have it, but don't be misguided that the four-wheel drive is going to get you out of trouble. Use a lot of caution, take your time this morning, and of course, be on the lookout for other drivers and be cautious of one another when you're out on the roads. Back to you guys.
Great advice, David. Thanks so much for that.
Let's get to Taos this morning, which received quite a bit of snow. How about some video? Here's a look at how those roads, the trees, the area around the roads were covered, made driving a little bit of a hassle. At one point, snow plows were called in to help clear the roads. Here's a look at the same area live this morning. Things are a little more quiet in the early hours, but the snow is piling up and actually in drifts there near this building. We'll keep you posted on KRQE this morning.
And here in the metro, some areas saw quite a bit of snow, especially near Nob Hill. Good news is roads weren't so bad. Near Santa Fe, though, things were a little more dicier. This is what it looked like driving near La Bajada overnight. And plow trucks were seen trying to keep up with all of that. Earlier in the night, one driver told us roads closer to the metro were trickier, but the worst spots are farther up north on I-25. That's from Las Vegas all the way to Raton. Our crews were up there last night. They caught a plow truck battling the snow, trying to clear the way.
Okay, we just checked. Road conditions are being updated now. In fact, they were updated in the last 15 minutes across New Mexico. As you can see, there are a lot of trouble spots from this map from NM Roads. I want to draw your attention sort of the south central area of the map there, and that is where there are severe driving conditions. The Department of Transportation is warning drivers to avoid roads, especially on Highway 54 in the Vaughn area, the Ruidoso area. We're watching all of this for you. Of course, eastern part of the state, Kristen's saying, is pointing to that area as the worst part of the state as far as the storm goes. So we know crews are out salting and plowing the roads, but it's always a good idea, as David said, to use some good judgment when you're heading out this morning and take it slow if you can.
And all morning long, you, the viewers, have been sending us your pictures, helping us tell the weather story this morning. This is what it looks like across the state. Over in Clovis, our viewer, Yvonne Gonzalez, snapped this picture from her porch just as the snow began falling. In Portales, viewer Elizabeth Kirkwood shared this photo. As you can see, the snow piled quickly on her branches and in her backyard. With all this snow, even our four-legged friends got a chance to play. This one sent in by John Dean, showing just that. Even out in Los Alamos, Ann Thomas snapped this pic of her beagle enjoying the snow without a care in the world. That's actually John Dean still. Let's see if we get the next picture up. Nope. We'll try to bring it to you in the next half hour.
That was sure pretty, though.
It
Nice
is.
Nice
Beautiful
photo by
shot.
John there. We're collecting pictures and video from you all morning long of what's happening in your area. Help us tell the weather story throughout New Mexico. Send them to reportit@krqe.com.
And of course, we will be following this blast of winter weather all day long. Remember, all APS East Mountain schools are closed today, along with some other school closures and delays. They are all scrolling at the bottom of your screen. We also have them listed on our website over at krqe.com and on our mobile app.